Tens of millions of people right here in Europe are sweltering under temps that are unusually high and that have come unusually early. The record-breaking temperatures are made possible by an exceptionally warm air mass moving up from North Africa. In some places, the mercury is a whopping 16 degrees Celsius or 29 degrees Fahrenheit higher than the average for this time of year.
England, notorious for its unpredictable weather, is right now a sure bet for outdoor swimming fun. Temperatures in the UK soared above 30 degrees Celsius, shattering a record for May that has stood for 8 decades.
Love it. Amazing. I mean, we don't know how long it's going to last for.
It's unusual in the UK, but I'm so happy. I feel like the Mediterranean.
You know, weather's to be enjoyed, and when we have days like this, I think just lap them up and, you know, embrace and have a cold drink.
The first major heat wave of the year is hitting Europe unusually early. It's mainly caused by a stable heat dome that has settled over the continent like a lid. Spain is sweltering in nearly 40-degree heat, and France has issued its first ever May heat wave alert. Authorities are urging people to stay hydrated.
It's important to leave very early in the morning. We left home at 7:30. I've got a bottle of water. You have to remember to stay hydrated and then just keep walking at an easy pace.
Forecasters predict another stifling summer for Europe.
There's a consensus among the models pointing to a fairly strong indication that this summer will be warmer than average. Of course, we don't know whether it will be really hot or just a little warmer.
And of course, it's not just humans enduring the high temperatures. Here in Berlin, these Siberian tigers took a dip to beat the heat at the zoo. Cool cats.
Lucky cats there. Not just the Siberian tigers are looking for answers. Yeah, they're making our meteorologists laugh as well. I want to pull in senior meteorologist at My Radar, Matthew Cappucci. Matthew, it's good to see you. You know, we get serious for just a moment here. We know that these high temperatures are the result of what is known as a heat dome. Explain this to us. What is a heat dome and why are we seeing it already in May?
Yeah, so a heat dome is this ridge of hot, dry, sinking air. And as the air sinks and dries, it warms even more. So it's sort of this self-reinforcing process in the atmosphere. And the other thing that's key is because this heat dome is like a magic force field in the atmosphere, it deflects the jet stream. It deflects any clouds, any weather systems. So you get no real relief to the heat until this heat dome finally breaks down. And this one is particularly impressive. Only about 13 out of every 1,000 heat domes become this strong, meaning it's no surprise we're so far above average temperature-wise, with temperatures across much of Western Europe running about 12 degrees Celsius above average. We have confirmation now that the UK just saw their hottest May temperature on record. That was about 33.5 degrees at London's Heathrow Airport. The previous record, so back in 1944, was 32.8 degrees. So this one, very impressive.
And so you say this is a muscular heat dome that is early. Do we know why?
Part of it is sort of natural variability. You're bound to get high and low pressure systems in the atmosphere, and sometimes these high pressure heat domes do overachieve a little bit. But we also have to superimpose that atop a backdrop of a warming climate. So, yeah, I mean, this would be hot either way, with or without climate change. But when you're constantly kind of raising that baseline, you're more likely to get these record events. I sort of liken it to playing a game of basketball. You know, I'm not super tall, but once in a while, I might, by pure coincidence, get a slam dunk. But if suddenly I was a couple inches taller or the floor was coming up, boosting me up a little bit, I'd be more likely to reach the basket and get a slam dunk.
Yeah. Well, let me see if you can make a three-pointer here. Is it possible to predict what the rest of the summer is going to be like? Because I will say it's unusual here in Northern Europe to be talking about this, and we haven't even seen the 1st of June. Are we going to be talking about this come 1st of August and 1st of September?
Yeah, I think this could be another toasty summer in Europe, unfortunately. You know, we're already around 40 degrees Celsius in parts of the Iberian Peninsula. You know, Spain and Portugal are running well above average right now. I do think this particular heat dome will break down Wednesday into Thursday, and then we should be back to more seasonal climatological norms for at least the next 2-ish weeks. But come deeper into June, once again, we'll probably get entrenched into another pretty hot pattern. And unfortunately, in a place like Europe where air conditioning is not as common, that can lead to serious issues with excess morbidity, stuff like that can really be dangerous for the population there.
And let me just ask you, among meteorologists, when you're talking about these heat domes and heat waves that are the result, do you talk about Northern Europe being particularly vulnerable to excessive heat compared to what the situation would be, let's say, in the United States?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. You know, upwards of 60-70% of homes in the U.S. have air conditioning. I know that's just not nearly as common in Europe, particularly in areas where you have an aging population, atop already having a lack of air conditioning. That makes these sorts of events all the more dangerous. What's most concerning, overnight low temperatures are warming faster than daytime highs. And overnight periods are really important because that's kind of the body's natural cool down period. So not only do you have multiple hot days, but the body can't really rid itself of heat overnight. And so for places like Europe that don't have the AC, it's a really big societal issue that will only get worse in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real issue if the nights do not allow the bodies as well as buildings to cool down from the heat during the day. You bring up a very important point there. Meteorologist Matthew Cappucci. Matthew, it's always good to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you.